I got some requests for video scanning the more difficult lines. Some of you were, in counting your syllables, got 11, some got 12 on particular lines. Now you remember that the line in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales is decasyllabic. That means it is a 10-line syllable. However, those 10 lines can be fudged, to use a casual word, all right? Now, if you get an 11 or 12 line, there may be a few reasons why. Let me give you a couple exceptions to the rules. One, from French syllabic counting. 2 adjacent vowels can sometimes be counted as 1 syllable. So let's count the syllables. 1, there, shall, fallen, any, ad, ver, si, te. And where's the caesura? Where there shall fallen any adversite. We know the caesura is right there. Now let's apply that rule. 1, there, shall, fallen, any adversite. Do you see that? When there shall fallen any adversite. Sometimes to regularize a line, a word may need to be slurred. In other words, we need to apply an orthographical figure of rhetoric called a metaplasm. And metaplasms are figures that add or subtract a letter or syllable from a word in order for the poet to play with the syllabic count. So let's take, for example, the word over. So this is the natural lexical stress. Over, 2 syllables. But if you use the figure of synaeresis, 2 syllables can be turned into 1. Or, you hear this figure happening everywhere in Shakespeare. In fact, Shakespeare, when you're reading him, you'll either use synaeresis, where 2 syllables are slurred into 1, or you'll see it happening on the page through syncope. And syncope is where a syllable or letter is literally dropped from the printed text, and its absence is marked by an apostrophe. Or. So let's look at this line. And over all this, if any lady breathed. 11 syllables, not possible. You heard the caesura. It is after and over all this. Now let's apply the figure. And over all this, if any lady breathed. And this even works with the rhythm. Watch. And over all this, caesura, if any lady breathed. But it could also be read in the French phrasal stress, and over all this, if any lady breathed. And finally, there may be in your overcounting of the decasyllabic line the possibility of a feminine ending. Now, feminine endings are words ending a line, and remember the line must end on a strong syllable to carry the rhyme, that has the strong syllable on the penultimate syllable. In other words, on the second to last syllable. Walking. That's its natural stress. Now, imagine that word is at the end of the line. What do you do with this extra weak syllable when the line is supposed to end on a strong? So the dots will represent the other words in the poem, and then we get to this feminine ending. Is walking. That makes this syllable 9, this is syllable 10. And this is extra-metrical. It's not counted. So you see how the feminine ending allows for an extra syllable that won't be counted. Now here's an example from the Squire's tale. You'll also need to use some slurring or synaeresis. There is no fowl that fleeth under the heaven. 12 syllables? That is not possible in the decasyllabic line. It's 10 syllables. This one's tricky because you have two possibilities of synaesis. You already can see that the feminine ending is in heaven. There is no fowl that, is it fleeth or fleeth? Is it under or under? And then heaven, we know, is 10 because this is going to be extra-metrical, correct? So it becomes, if you go through the weak strongs and weak strongs, it's clear that the line is that fleeth under the heaven. There is no fowl, caesura, that fleeth under the heaven. Perfect decasyllabic line. That weakly stressed syllable is not counted. It is extra-metrical. That means it is outside the meter count. You can also find a similar feminine ending in front of the caesura, or as you know it as a metrical pause. It's called a lyric caesura. Let's take a look again at another line that we've already looked at because it's a very tricky line. And let's see if we can find the decasyllabic count through the lyric caesura. Let's look at that line again. One, there shall fallen any adversite. 11 syllables. 11 syllables? Is that a lyric caesura? This is a tricky line. This solution recognizes the caesura, which is when there shall fallen any adversite. If you count 5, when there shall fallen, then it is a coupe italienne. But then any adversite has a problem. The last time we did it, we combined the Y and the A, the two adjacent vowels. It could possibly be lyric caesura. One, there shall fallen any adversite. And in that case, the caesura is the classic 4/6. And notice also the rhythm. One there shall fallen, and then we get trochaic inversion, any adversite. This bending of the rules makes the line interesting. But it's not really a bending of the rules. That's completely wrong because it's built into the metrical system. The versification or prosody. The poet not only must write in a metrical manner, but the poet must also try to avoid monotony. So that's why you find those trochaic inversions, strong, weak, that pattern strong, weak, weak, strong. da 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 da. You also find feminine endings. You find, rarely, lyric caesura. And you find all those metaplasms. It's how the poet makes the line interesting while maintaining its regularity. And it's completely lawful. Remember what Chaucer says about the knight. There is no vice in his syllables or in his letters. But that doesn't mean the poet is not given a poetic license to alter the main line or the mainstream rules of meter. Finally, I should make a comment about that little weak E called the schwa or caduc E, that little at the end of some of Chaucer's words. It makes the Middle English sound a little French with that sound. It's usually not counted. It will completely disappear in the English language. But sometimes it is counted. Sometimes Chaucer needs it to keep the line's rhythm and its syllables regular. Here's an example. If we don't count one of these weak syllables from either nuwa or lova, then we only get 9 syllables. But if we count one of them, in this case, nuwa, we also get a normal caesura. His nuwa love and all his so dull te. And it works also when you scan it. His nuwa love and all his subtlety. Perfect. So that's it. In the next episode, we will continue talking about the Canterbury Tales.
Alright guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell.